Well, as you'd expect in a straight final, we've got quite a large field. We'll just pick out some names for you in that field. Of course, Bikele, Keflezighi from the USA, the Olympic silver medalist in the marathon, running the 10,000 here. Nicholas Kemboi, very good Kenyan before, now running for Qatar. Sihen there. Gebri Mariam, the other very good Ethiopian. Gumri has performed very well, was third in Hengelo behind Bikele earlier on this season, and Tedesse, of course, from Eritrea, already mentioned him. Dinkesa, Moses Mossop, perhaps the best of the Kenyans. He'll be heading up their challenge here. Charles Kimathi of Kenya, former world champion from Edmonton 2001. The only time really in recent times that the Kenyans have come out on top in their battles with the Ethiopians on the track. Two start lines we have, and you see at the back of Gebri Mariam there, this is Bikele waving to the crowd. He's not Gebri Selassie in terms of personality, but he certainly has all of the great man's ability, if not more in some respects, and he still has an awfully long career ahead of him, and a successful one, I'm sure. And Brendan just reminding me that despite what he might think about only running the 10,000, and the Ethiopians, I'm pretty sure, would love him to run the 5,000 meters, so it remains to be seen what happens. But certainly his intention, his own intention, is to only run the 10,000 meters. Sihen, really with a marvellous opportunity. So Boniface Kiprop, who was just outside the Olympic medals, and then Tedesse from Eritrea, won their first medal that they've ever won at the Olympic Games last year, taking the bronze. That's Dinkesa. Look at that personal best there, 26:30.74. Just remarkable, really. And I think there's always interest around what sort of race we're going to see. These major championship 10,000 meter finals, always enthralling in terms of tactics, and the Kenyans always talk a good game, but certainly in recent times have never really been able to come up with anything that even comes close to attacking the Ethiopian group. Matati from Kenya made a big improvement this year, just 19 years of age. Big talent for them. Moses Mossop just disappearing out of your picture there. And this is Gumri, I mentioned him. Again, another man who's had a big improvement and was third in Hengelo. Hengelo, always the big 10,000 meters at the start of the season, where we've seen obviously the world records get broken over the years by Bikele, by Gebri Selassie. Other athletes come away with the fast times. Boniface Kiprop, again, just 19 years of age, and we said earlier, just outside of the medals in Athens, in 4th place. So the top 4 men from Athens here. The champion from 2 years ago. Who would bet against this man? Not me. Looks so relaxed, doesn't he? The men's 10,000 meter final. So 25 laps of the track, and if you've never sat down to watch all of one of these, then you're in for a treat, I assure you. It's never short of drama, and just to give you some indications, really, anything under 20 minutes, 28 minutes, and the rest of the world, I guess, is considered world-class still to this day. But anything under 27 minutes is very quick for a World Championship final.
Well, the World Championship started here back in 1983, and on that occasion, the first 7 of the first 8 in the men's 10,000 meters were European, and at that time, the Europeans had the upper hand. But just shows how much the sport's changed, because here tonight, in the whole field, there are only 2 Europeans entered, and the rest of the field, 2 Japanese, and the rest of the field, are African. Even the two Americans are born in Africa. So at the end of the day, the total dominance of middle and long distance running is down to the Africans. And when you look at it tonight, you just wonder whether the Europeans have given up on distance running. Only 2 entrants in the race here tonight. And, you know, this is going to be a good opportunity to run a fast time. There aren't many great opportunities to run great 10,000 meter races. But as usual here in Helsinki, the conditions are conducive to good distance running. Over the years, we've had 5 world records for the 5,000 meters and 4 world records for the 10,000 meters on this very track. Some of the great ones have broken records. Paavo Nurmi, Lassi Viren, and even Haile Gebrselassie broke his last world record here over 5,000 meters. So the scene is set. The crowd are very knowledgeable. The Japanese athlete has been overtaken by his early race tension and nerves, and he's running away from the field, but only, I'm sure, to be hauled back in the late stages, or actually the early stages.
Omori of Japan with an early lead, which will not last too long, I would venture, as Brendan was saying. The chasing group being led by John Yuda of Tanzania, and there goes Bikele. He was happy to sit in the back, and there was a 65.8 lap there for the leader, if not for the group, but they haven't started too quickly, certainly the main bunch.
Of course, is continuing while this incredible 10,000 meters continues. And this is Vadim Devyatovsky, disappointing in the first round, only 78 meters 11 outside the top 4, but he is ranked 2nd in the world this year. A slow start, but then electrifying speed. And that was certainly one he got hold of. That is big. It's over 80 meters. Just what this competition needed, and you just get the feeling now 1 or 2 throwers might follow suit. Watch the intricate footwork. Heel toe on the left foot, and that hammer being released at well over 70 miles an hour. Yes, he says. Number 1. Well, he is for the time being, that's for sure. He's gone into the lead, way ahead of anybody else right now. So Devyatovsky, 80 meters 45, and that is a very good lead for the Belarusian.
Just over, well, almost 3.5 laps completed. The first 1,000 meters was a fairly circumspect affair for the main group, although Omori went through a few seconds ahead of him. But now the race is just starting, really, and Sihen has brought the field back to the Japanese athlete, and I'm pretty sure they'll go straight past him. And they've started their running reasonably early. We'll start to stretch this field out, I'm sure, but Sihen actually doesn't go past him, just takes a little bit of a breather behind Omori, having pulled the field back. Kesa just tucked in behind him. And then I was mentioning right at the beginning, 1 or 2 other athletes in this. Nicholas Kemboy running for Qatar, 7.66, formerly of Kenya. John Yuda's on the inside, further back in the field. Bikele and Tedesse. But still early stages, Ben, and well, he brought them back to the leader, but he decided he wasn't going to go past and just tucked in behind.
Well, it's a more understandable race now. I don't know what the Japanese athlete was doing. He wasn't going too quickly, but they just let him go, let him run away. And we're just looking in the field here. The 2 Europeans I mentioned, De La Ossa from Spain, he's in there, and right at the very back, Christian Belts of Switzerland. So these are the 2 European representatives for an event which is being gradually but relentlessly overtaken by the Africans. The Japanese athlete, Omori, still leads, but the Ethiopian team on the inside, Din Kesa, right next to him, Sihen, right in the middle of the field, Bikili, and right at the very back, the tall figure of Gebri Mariam, an athlete who promises such a lot. They've got great hopes for him, but the big hope the Ethiopians have tonight is to see if they can become the first team ever to finish the first 4 in a World Championship event. The fact they've got 4 in is because Keniinisa Beykieli is in here as the champion, and they've got a real chance here tonight, which I imagine they'll run as a team. They tend to in the men's events. There's no team tactics need to be revealed so far, but eventually we'll see them revealing their plan when they get almost to the halfway point, I imagine.
Into the home straight again then. Nothing too much to report so far. Maury has found himself, if not an unwilling leader, certainly perhaps surprising for him that he's still in front and none of the big names have decided to push on. But as Brendan was saying, it's been a pattern, if you like. As we see, a 68.54 lap then, that's the sort of pace they've been running. It's been a pattern of championship races in recent times that the first 5 kilometers is run slow and the second 5 kilometers much quicker. And that's, I think, probably the sort of race we're expecting tonight.
They don't come to the championships to run fast times. They come to the championships for the medals. They go on the international circuit, Hengelo being particular favourite for the 10,000 metres. That's an event organised by Jos Herman, who's the manager of Keniinisa Beykieli, was the manager of Gebre Selassie. He's been a huge influence in the organisation of Ethiopian athletics. And the one thing about them, they are real talented athletes. They train really hard in Addis Ababa in a training squad, which is an almighty training squad. The men and the women, you see them warming up together. They warm up for ages before they start off on their runs. And they do work as a team. They train as a team, but they're very well programmed. They're only allowed to run the races that the team management want them to run. And when Keniinisa Beykieli says he only wants to run the 10,000 metres, I imagine he does. But if it suits the Ethiopian team management, they'll persuade him. Well, they won't have much persuading to do. They'll just tell him he's got to run the 5,000 metres.
I was just watching right at the back of the field, Brendan, as Sihen turned it on, and Moses Mossop was running with Gebre Mariam right at the back, and then suddenly panicked because I think he thought the race was getting moving. Has passed about 8 athletes, is now about halfway through the field, and he was content to just tootle along there with Gebre Mariam. Gebre Mariam, though, has moved much more slowly through as they pass through 3 kilometres, 2:46 there. We've just had the quickest lap of the race for the main group, is 66 there, and that pace now being maintained with Sihen and Dinkesa up at the front, and Beykieli just keeping out of the way of it, letting his teammates do the early work for him. There's Sihen, Dinkesa just behind him, then Kemboy and John Yuda as they come round with 17 laps to go.
Back to the hammer, just the beginning of the 3rd round now. Szymon Zielkowski of Poland in 4th place. But let's not forget, he is the Olympic champion and a former world champion as well. There was no roar, but it is sailing out there and just behind the 80-meter line. So it's still Deviatovsky who's leading for Belarus, but that could challenge Marcus Esser's 2nd place mark. Esser threw 79 meters 11 in the 2nd round. Zielkowski, a very, very big man, one of the biggest hammer throwers around, and also incredibly strong. Little shake of the head, but it's his best throw so far. 79.35. He moves into 2nd. The favourite, the 2nd longest thrower in history, has got a real problem. He's got to go further with this throw than 76.21 to take any further part in the competition. I think he could have done it. Oh, that was gutsy, my goodness. Not only has he qualified for the 2nd half of the competition, he's taken this competition with a real stranglehold. That was a superb throw under the conditions. And coached by a former world champion. Top pedigree this guy's got. Sergei Litvinov, one of the longest throwers of all time. In fact, his charge, Ivan Tikhon, displaced him as the 2nd longest thrower ever earlier on this season. 80 meters 97. We now have Belarus 1-2 in this hammer final.
Well, a little change in this 10,000 metres. Abdirahman from the USA has moved to the front. There's his teammate, Keflezegi, just much further towards the back. A few conversations going on there, Brendan. I was just watching with the binoculars. The Ethiopians obviously occasionally having a chat to each other. I saw Tadesse talking to Keflezegi in the middle of the pack as well. It's not unusual, is it, for people to just have a little chat?
Well, operating at such a relatively easy pace, 67 second laps, 4,000 metres. They're moving up 1,000 metres to the halfway point, and you can sense that they'll be getting ready to move more quickly then. But when you look at the various countries in Africa represented here, it used to be Kenya, then it was Kenya and Ethiopia, and then it was Tanzania, but now there's Eritreans and athletes from Rwanda. The American was born in Somalia, Burundi, Morocco. So there's athletes from all across Africa competing in this event tonight, an event that the Africans now own, really do. The Eritrean vest is a distinctive one with the red and the yellow and blue vest there. And Tadesse was the first Eritrean athlete ever to win a medal at the Olympic Games. He's in about 6th place there, 7th place. And at the end of the day, now Tadesse in the group, and Dinkesa from Ethiopia, who won the Great Ethiopian Run earlier this year, or late last year, sorry, and I watched him in that run, and it's altitude and it's hilly, and when I saw him sprinting up some of the hills, and he wasn't really an international athlete at that point, I was extremely impressed. I thought he's going to be an outstanding runner, and here he is a year later, his first trip into Europe, and he runs 26:30 for 10,000 metres. So he's operating at a pace which he's very comfortable at here as he goes down the back straight, but I've seen him lift the pace sprinting up hills, so on a track he doesn't have much of a problem with sea level.
I think this is interesting, Brendan. 2 years ago we had that fantastic race. Of course, Gebre Selassie was involved on that occasion, and they ran the first 5 kilometres in around the 13:50 mark, a little bit over that, and that's exactly what they're heading for here. And it looks as though there's a bit of a game plan, doesn't it?
I think that's the rhythm that they choose to go these days. Steady, settle down. You know, these races have been held in Tokyo in '91 and Seville in '99, and then that lap there, 64-second lap, 63.9, that's the fastest lap of the race so far. So as they go down the back straight, they'll be approaching the 5,000 meter point. They're going to be almost identical in terms of time with that fantastic race we saw in Paris 2 years ago. 13:52 on that occasion. They're probably going to be extremely close to that. And the boss man tells the Eritrean, get out of my way. 13:51. Well, last time it was 13:52. This time it's 13:51, and the interesting thing, last time they ran the second 5,000 meters under 13 minutes. 13 minutes is a truly world-class time for 5,000 meters, and I wonder, are they going to go away and try and do something similar to that? That's the way these distance races have evolved. They're brutal in the second part, and the Ethiopian team plan is Sehen and Dinkesa together, sharing the pace and picking the pace up. That lap 63.2, so that's the fastest lap of the race so far, and you can sense that it's going to start building and building, and this pace really is savage. It really does take its toll when you get past the halfway point and you start running 63-second laps.
Just watching, Brendan, well, I've just picked out, I was just going to say Gebre Mariam, and the directors must be reading my thoughts there. Gebre Mariam doesn't look completely comfortable. When there's a surge on, they're just bunching again a little bit. Really, either he's very, supremely confident of his shape and is happy to let them move away, but I would have thought he might have been taking a little bit more closer order, because his teammates at the front just turning it on again around that top bend in the field, well stretched out there. Bikila not too far away. The young Kenyan 5.66 just going through as well. There's Gebre Mariam at the back of the group, and he's never the best looking of athletes. He's got a more sort of rangy style, if you like, which he doesn't always look completely comfortable, but it just looks to me like he's not running as smoothly as I've seen him in the past. 65 just slowed a little. There's no panic for him, but there's just a couple of meters adrift, and when it goes quick around the when they seem to move from the 200-meter mark and pick it up again, and that's the Qatari athlete just stretching out. That's Nicholas Kemboy pushing on. He doesn't want the pace to drop. We've just had the fastest kilometre of the race, and he's decided, I don't want you to slow down. I was enjoying that. Thank you. That suits me fine. And away he goes.
Kennedy Bikili running a very quiet race, just working his way through slowly. He's now the highest position he's been in this race. He's in 4th place. 2 Ethiopians ahead of him. And the first European there. He's still in that group. I was just looking for De La Ossa, and he's at the back of that group. And then further down the field, Christian Belzer still hanging on to the back. So he's running pretty well, but Kennedy Bikili taking a little bit closer order, probably starts giving out a few instructions, but the only people who are going to be listening to his instructions are the Ethiopians. The Kenyans aren't going to be listening at all. They're not interested in his instructions. As I say that, he's just instructed his teammate to take over.
And Gebri Mariam not with his teammates. He's working really hard to try and get back. He just keeps getting detached, and I can't believe that's deliberate. He's having to work so hard. So Sehen back in front, Kninkesa. There's Gebri Mariam going through the picture. There's John Yuda struggling. Look at Kemboy after that silly burst. He's suddenly way off the pace as we look a little bit further down the field. A couple of the Moroccan athletes there. That's El Amri there. But there's still enough athletes in this to make it really interesting, and particularly the Kenyans. The youngster Matati, wearing 566, has been never too far away from the front. He's just keeping an eye on things, and the other two, Moses Mossop and the former champion Charles Kimathi, in that leading group as well. And as they go through the 65.25 lap, and this hurts as well, Brendan, doesn't it? A couple of 63s back to 65, another 63 back to 65 again.
I think the sense they're picking it up now. 9 laps remaining, and the pace beginning to gather. And there goes Bikili for the first time. He hits the front. Maybe 65 was too slow for him, but 8.5 laps to go was a very early strike from him, and I'm sure he's going to be looking for some help from his teammates. This pace is going to be gathering now. He's going to be picking it up. He's going to be stretching it. He's going to be looking around for some help, because he doesn't want to be leading for 8.5 laps unless he actually is able to break free of the field. But he's got his teammates in pole position, 1, 2 and 3.
I was doing Nicholas Kemboy well, no favours at all, because it was his teammate who'd become adrift. So Kemboy's still very much in there. And good to see that the Kenyans, well, they're taking the challenge on, as is Kiprop, Boniface Kiprop, 4th at the Olympics last year, wearing 9.32 in 5th place there. Kamati, Tedesse is there, Moses Mossop, Charles Kimathi, and Goumri, the Moroccan. Those are just pulling away now. And this pace is really hotting up, and the Ethiopians just mixing it up and saying, okay, you're going to have to go with us for the next few laps. Look at that, there's the fastest kilometre of the race, 2:39. Nothing startling yet, Brendan, compared to what we saw at the Olympics and what we saw at the World Championships in Paris, and that's why there's still quite a large group.
But you can see he's calling the shots now. Kennedy Bikili is asking his teammates Sehen to come over and take a bit of the pace. They come down the finishing straight. They now can look at the lap scorer. It's in running distance. It's 7 laps to go. Sehen leads. He looks over his shoulder and he sees the boys are still there. Kninkesa on the inside. Kennedy Bikili just taking a rest in 3rd place. 63 seconds for that lap. And that's the pattern of the race now. They're going to be working, they're going to be stretching, and the group. 9 athletes in that group, and I wonder how many are going to be staying there for a couple of more laps. So the Ethiopian team plan is here. They're going to stretch it, they're going to run fast, they're going to run 63 and 64 second laps. They're going to make the second half of this race really, really tough, and it's taking its toll on one of the Ethiopians, the man you were talking about earlier, Steve. Gebri Mariam wasn't running well at all this evening, hasn't had a comfortable ride, so the approach to the first 4 certainly not going to happen. They're going to have to settle for the chance to win first 3 places here. Can they do it?
Now this is similar to what happened in Athens last year. They slowed it a little bit, and then there was a really fast lap around about the 60 seconds, 61 seconds that they threw in, which really helped break it up again. And this surging and slowing down. Look at the young Kenyan. I'm impressed with him, wearing 566 just on the shoulder there. Martin Matati looks very comfortable indeed, and he's really enjoying this. Now, whether or not he will when it really gets going, but look how much they're bunching. This has slowed down quite a lot there. Now, once again, the Ethiopians, Beykiele says enough is enough. Come on, guys, we can't go this slowly. And away they go, another surge.
And that is a crucial surge. He was settling down. He's looking for his teammates with him. This is a team race so far. They're trying to break away from the Kenyans. They're looking at the lap scorer. They'll see as much information as they need. And the Ethiopian athletes now occupying the 1, 2, 3. Keniinisa Beykiele talking to his teammate Sehen. On the inside, Dinkesa staying with them. And the Kenyan athlete Matati coming under a little bit of pressure. But this lap is going to be the fastest of the race so far. Look at him, he's still comfortable. He's able to talk. He's not only the best runner, he's also calling the shots, and he's telling them what he wants them to do. But this bunch are still there. Now it's your turn, Sehen. Sehen taking over. Dinkesa coming under a little bit of pressure on the inside. 61.7, 5 laps to go, and that was the fastest lap so far. That really is true world-class distance running pace, and they just got to keep it going though. They've got to keep the pace going. They can't slow down now.
It reminds you of team racing in cycling, doesn't it? One comes to the front, has his go, and then moves to the back, and somebody else comes on to keep the pace going. But as I said, I am impressed with the way the Kenyans have coped with this so far. It's the best I think we've seen from them recently, particularly this young man there, Martin Matati, just 19 years of age, really is looking comfortable, even though he was only third in the Kenyan trials. And now Dinkesa moving to the front, Sehen behind him, Beykiele just getting a bit of a push and a shove. TEDESA has been all over the place at the back of the group in the blue vest of Eritrea, the man who took a medal at the Olympics last year. He really doesn't like staying in one place. He's in the group, he's on the outside of the group, he's back on the inside. But we've got a real race on here with 4 laps to go. They're almost jogging in front of us.
Well, Keniinisa Beykiele has got the equipment. That lap slowed down. That wasn't the way they were trying to do it. They're trying to finish in the first 3, but the first job that Keniinisa Beykiele's got to do is try and put himself in the position to win it. At some point, he's got to forget his team race. He's got to think about his own race. Kiprop takes over. The Kenyan goes in second place, and then now the Ethiopians are relegated lower down the field. But Keniinisa Beykiele has got a fantastic finish. He's tried to make this into a hard second half of the race. He's tried to organise his teammates breaking away, but he's still got some talent around him. Right next to him now is TEDESA, the Olympic bronze medalist from Eritrea, who gave him a right shove in the back just now, and now he's back in about, where is he, 7th place now, the champion.
Matati and Kiprop now at the front. Kiprop just having a look at the big screen when they come down the home straight. In fact, they all are. TEDESA, we're at 2:17, Brendan. As I said on the previous lap, and you've just alluded to again, he almost keeps getting in the way of the other people. Doesn't know where he wants to be. And now the youngster from Kenya, he's a reluctant leader, isn't he? He's thinking, well, come on, what's happening? You're telling me what the Ethiopians will be pushing this and making it hard, making it faster. We've got 3 laps to go, and we've just run a 68. And I don't think he really wants to be there. Moses Mossop, the other Kenyan, is renowned for having a pretty good finish. He only just got out-kicked in Oslo last week with John Cabone, his teammate. TEDESA, Beykiele there, Kiprop. There's Beykiele just moving through again. Now this is getting really interesting for my money. I wasn't expecting, as we entered the last 1,000 metres, to have so many men still involved.
Well, the team race is over now. They've tried to place the first 3. Maybe that was a bit of a distraction, because certainly Keniinisa Beykiele was calling the shots in the middle of the race. They're coming round the top bend here, and when they look down the finishing straight, they'll see 2 laps to go. So they've got to start thinking about who's going to make a move, who's going to move at the time. And now it's up to Keniinisa Beykiele, the champion, to think about his own race. The world record holder for 5,000 metres and 10,000 metres. The world champion, the man who's fantastic at cross country, winning the double for the last 4 years, and now finds himself in a position where I don't think he expected to be. I don't think he expected as many people around him on the penultimate lap here. So the positioning's got to happen now. You've got to now get yourself ready to make the move and make it at the right time. Respond to anyone who goes now, but remember, keep something back. Position yourself at the bell.
I think that's right, Brent, but I don't think it's been hard enough to really hurt one or two of the others, so we're going to see some big kicks here on the last lap. In Paris 2 years ago, Beykieli ran 55 seconds on the last lap. Now that's quick, but there might be one or two athletes here who will certainly be able to run sub 60 on this over the last 400 metres. We're coming round now for the penultimate time into the home straight, and it's the young Kenyan Matati, who's leading. Tedesse on the outside, we've got the three Ethiopians in a group. We've got Kiprop there, we've got Gumri from Morocco, we've got Kemboy of Kenya on the inside as well. Moses Mossop of Kenya just trying to push his way through. 400 to go.
The three Ethiopians now back in the front, but they moved in a phalanx, they moved as a team. They're blocking the track, you're going to have to go an awful long way around them. Keniinisa Beykieli in second place. I think he wants to start thinking about his own race and not worry about his teammates. He's still looking, he's still conscious of this. They're now in the three positions, but he's got to try and win this one. We want the champion to defend the title, and he's got to kick harder now. The Kenyans still in contention. The three Ethiopians are still there. They approach 200 metres. He's got to go now.
It's Beykieli from Sehen, from Dinkesa. Moses Mossop, the Kenyan threat. Beykieli kicks for the first time, and Sehen tries to go with him. Mossop is still there. Can he strike in the home straight? Beykieli hasn't won it yet. The defending champion, the Olympic champion, goes again. 1 metre, 2 metres. He's still going strong. Beykieli is going to win the world title again. Beykieli defends it. Gold to Ethiopia. Sehen takes a silver. And Mossop gets bronze for Kenya. A great last 200 metres, but that was hard work for Keniinisa Beykieli. It was in doubt right until the last 30 or 40 metres or so. And out of all of his victories, and there have been many, for the first time, there appeared to be a real threat in the latter stages. Not really the script I think we were expecting, not as fast certainly as perhaps some might have thought, but the result is the same. Keniinisa Beykieli wins the gold medal for Ethiopia, retains his title in fine style in the end. He just has that little bit extra when it counts, as we see Gebri Mariam coming in there. Well, Brendan, what did you make of all of that?
Well, I think he was a little bit over-concerned to encourage his teammates to try and get the 1, 2, 3. I think he played in, he was helping them, he was talking to them, he was calling the shots. And at one point, the whole thing looked to be in danger, but when they come to the bell, here they are. Keniinisa Beykieli, his teammate Dinkesa on the inside, and Sehen, the Olympic silver medalist, come up there very, very quickly. Dinkesa makes a sprint, and here they were for the first time in that position where they wanted to be in the serious part of the race, in the 1, 2, 3. But even here, Keniinisa Beykieli is conscious of what's going on around him. He's looking on the outside, he's looking on the inside, he's just working his way past him. He still hasn't kicked yet. He knows how strong he is, he knows how fast he is. He could have dominated this race, and I was surprised here. I thought he should kick here. He's got a chance, he's giving them a bit of a chance, and he's also now cruising, but he needs to find that other gear. Dinkesa is fading at this point, and then Sehen, the Olympic silver medalist, really launches an attack. Mossop, the Kenyan, who's a lot of people were favoured, and there he is. He's sprinting in the home straight. Keniinisa Beykieli, the champion, the world record holder, the Olympic champion, is pulling away just enough. Just enough. He gave them a chance. He gave Sehen a chance. He gave Mossop a chance. And I think that was a strange way for him to run. He was always conscious of what was going on behind him. He was always, surely, he was just so supremely confident. He knew he was going to win it, but he actually had his mind on other things. He had his mind on the Ethiopian teammates, and I think the gold and silver, they settled for that. They were looking for 1, 2, 3. They were looking for 1, 2, 3, 4, but the champion defends his title, and his teammate Sehen, who's had a few difficult times, has come back. The Olympic silver medalist, now the world championship silver medalist, and Mossop of Kenya is clearly very happy with that performance.
Mossop has been preparing in St. Moritz, and there were good reports about how well he was going, and he is quick. He is very quick in the last 200 metres. He was a threat. I just didn't think he really was able to get himself in the right position. If he could have got on the shoulder, who knows, but he wasn't in the right position. And Bikili, as you said, Brendan, was almost protected, if you like, by the other two Ethiopians to let him get away.
And that last 200 metres of 25.9 seconds tells you why he had those few yards. 28.3 for the penultimate 200 metres, and he was still talking to them. The last 200 metres, there he is, the sprinter that we know he is, in full flow. 25.9, that'll do. World Championship again, another gold medal to add to his list of 13 World Championship gold medals, most of them from the country, his second one on the track.
Kennedy Bikili, the world champion again.